experience that uses a very basic simulation to teach people about the various spying technologies that police may deploy in their communities. And when we were starting to pursue this in the early stages, we had some considerations. We wanted it to be a meaningful advocacy experience. We wanted to not collect biometric information. We wanted it, as an organization that supports open source and accessibility to technology, we wanted to make sure it worked on multiple platforms and not just the Oculus store or the Vive store. We wanted it to be, also function on a modest budget because we are a nonprofit and we are not Sony. When I say a meaningful advocacy experience, we didn't want to rely on the novelty factor of VR. You can basically take anything and put it in VR, and if it's somebody's first time using the VR, they'll be like, wow, this is amazing, regardless of what it is. But we wanted to make sure that ours was presenting our research in a way that only VR could allow. And we didn't want people to just be watching a movie in VR. We wanted them to be doing something, interacting with the world, and to be challenged by it. And we wanted people to learn information that, even though they were experiencing it in a virtual world, we wanted them to be able to carry that back to the real world. So the concept is somebody, once you put the headset on, people will have demos during the lunch break, but you can put it on, you're placed in a street scene. It's in Western Addition neighborhood of San Francisco.
Nothing. I'm getting berries in there. Berries.
Go through it and score points about the surveillance technology. It is supposed to be an educational tool. And there were 4 goals. One was, can we do a virtual reality? As a nonprofit, can we do a virtual reality experience? Can we do it cheaply? And if we can do it the first time, maybe we can do other things down the road. Number 2 was whether just to educate people about the forms of surveillance. Then we also wanted to help them figure out where they are in their communities. And then finally, we had this thought that police encounters are very stressful situations. Protests are very stressful situations sometimes. Things move very quickly. But it can be useful for people to take note of what surveillance technology they saw in those scenes. So perhaps by putting people in a simulation, in a controlled environment where they're able to gain practice looking for these technologies, it might carry Theta V. You can see it right here. It's also on the screen. It's got 2 concave lenses, one on each side, and it captures just beyond 180 degrees on each side and then stitches them together. So you're able to take a photo of everything. If I used it right now, you would get all of this, you would get all of this. The only thing that you might not get is just the very base of the tripod underneath the camera. But this helped us get past of what people refer to as the uncanny valley when it comes to video games. The more you try to create a realistic person or a realistic environment, the more creepy it is to people. But by using an actual photo with a real scene, with a few things photoshopped in, it bypassed that altogether. This is what the photo looks like that we took. It's obviously, once you're in the virtual reality headset, it wraps all its way around you. But you can see there is a scenario there going on, and you can kind of see us at the bottom here. I'm going to show you a little bit. This is what it actually looked like, and you don't see this in the game, so this is like a behind-the-scenes kind of exclusive here. We were just kind of hiding under this, a longer version of this pole that went about this high. We're just kind of hiding there outside this police station, hoping police would come outside, and eventually they did, and it being San Francisco, they didn't question 2 people with a weird piece of technology on the street, which was great because, it was kind of the perfect shot for us. For those of you who are not going to have a chance to try it today, this is what it looks like in there. If you looked over at the body cam, you would get a pop-up about it that explains what it is and has a voiceover, because we didn't want to make sure, it's such a visual medium, we didn't want it to just be that you have to be fully sighted to to enjoy this experience or to learn from it. So if you are only able to see out of one eye, or you have limited visibility, but you have a certain amount of awareness of an environment, you can actually go in and still learn things through audio. We did our beta launch on November 5th. This is at the Internet Archive at the Aaron Swartz International Hackathon. That's actually Brewster Kahle, the founder of the Internet Archive, testing it out, which was a real honor. But I think for the most part, we are looking at having tables like this. This would there's not a lot of At this point, not a lot of people have these devices in their homes, even though like this one here just kind of dropped down to $200 recently. Not a lot of people have it, but it is something that we can take to conferences. We can have our grassroots activists, when they're going to visit community groups, bring it with them, just like they would bring one-pagers or brochures or things like that. They could actually bring one of these with them. We've